Alright guys, welcome back to Valorant News. Ye was back in action for the first time in a long time, all the way since the lock-in event in Sao Paulo when he was on Cloud9, feels a very long time ago. His first series though didn't exactly go to plan. Lots of comments on Ye's performance during this series, certainly during the game one. Lots of reaction to it as well. What does it mean for Ye's future? And could this disguised situation possibly hurt his stock even further going into next season if this continues? Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Plenty to get into. Sassy, #1 Radiance, congratulations. We talked about some roster drama as well over the last couple of days, one of which being the new Zera situation on Carmine Corp that he just decided to abandon the team in the words of Scream. Interesting that he actually does leave the league with the highest headshot percentage. He didn't get many kills, but 40% headshot pretty good. dapr as well, we'll discuss him in a second. Best player possibly, but his own 11 in clutches, which is kind of interesting that he's had what a clutch so far this season, and all the top 5 assist players per round have played Omen apart from Chronicle, who is #1 because of course he's Chronicle. But speaking of Fnatic and dapr, they've done it again, baby. Can you believe it? VCT update. We are currently experiencing multiple cases of COVID throughout the team, and as a result, our matchup versus Koi is being postponed until a later date. We want to wish the affected players well soon, and we'll return to the Coliseum. So, I mean, this is just absolutely classic stuff from Fnatic and the guys. I don't know how this is possible. It's happened at least twice or 3 times now in Valorant history where they've managed to get COVID out of nowhere, and even as Mini says, doing everything we can to get the boys recovered. Couldn't be Fnatic without some external factors. We saw the Alpha situation with the visa, and now they've got COVID again, so that match is getting delayed. But man, what an absolute mess. And as Durka confirms, COVID 2.0, or no, it's 2-0 is what he says here, 2-0 against Durka and Leo. So yeah, I don't know, it's always classic Fnatic stuff. They're still the best team in the world, but as Durka said, it's better that it happens now than it happened when they got to Masters Tokyo, because if that had been the case, it wouldn't have been ideal at all. But maybe knowing these guys is going to happen in Masters Tokyo anyway in a couple of months' time now. Also in the Americas, we finally have the Super Week. It begins today. These are the games coming up in this crazy week of matches, actually. There's a lot of action. We've got Sentinels and others playing a lot of, well, matches this week. Every team is playing 2 games here, so of course we saw the Sentinels matches the other day starting today. Sen versus Loud. Marved is going to be back in action, which is very exciting as well. MRBR Leviathan, and then all the other games for the week. So some bangers here. Obviously the Sentinel series, very interesting. I'm looking forward to 100 Thieves versus Leviathan as well. Obviously Cloud9 versus NRG should be a good one also. So some great series upcoming. But also speaking of Leviathan, they were definitely throwing some shade the way of MRBR. Friday's game will be difficult. Let's not forget that MRBR have great achievements like, and then I don't say anything, or also when they managed to qualify to, and don't say anything, and let's not forget when they won this. So pretty spicy stuff, and well, hopefully Leviathan will back up their words, or it's not going to be looking so good with the Brazilians, I'm sure, in their replies. Let's talk about the situation in challenges, because last night, a very surprising result, I thought, between Ori Esports and G2. Ori Esports were, I thought, always on the verge of being okay, but they never really achieved much last split. And G2, right, they went all the way almost. When they went to the grand finals, right, last time out and lost in the end to, they beat the Guard, right, and they lost to M80 in the finals during that face-off tourney. So G2 expected to come in here and get the job done. It went game 3 though, and Ori Esports won comfortably in the game 3. Big surprise. Now, fundamentally, this isn't really that much of a big deal for G2, and this is the issue with the format in a way. They got so many points from their performance during Split 1 that I don't really feel like it matters that much how they perform here in Split 2. Like, they can win a few series, and they still should be absolutely fine to secure themselves top 8 going into the playoffs, or the Challengers playoffs, effectively, of which the top 2 teams out of those 8 then get through to the American Ascension qualifiers. So G2 won't really be too worried about this defeat, but nonetheless, it's not a great look for their potential going forwards. They had a pretty rough series, Whippy especially. Haven, I mean, it went 13-9 to Ori Esports. They bounced back 13-4 on Split and probably thought, all right, Oxy, ShahZaM, they turned up here, but Lotus went back the other way, 13-4. It's a really interesting series. For some reason, we didn't quite have the full stats for this one, but yeah, still, G2 going down in this manner was pretty shocking, to be honest. And yeah, Ori Esports went from winless in Split 1 with the worst stats of all the teams to beating the 2nd place team in the Split 2 opener. So yeah, interesting for many reasons. Ori Esports stepped up. G2 definitely didn't look like themselves, and they will need to get back down to business, because if they want to take things seriously for actually winning Ascension, or at least making a good go at doing so, they need to do what M80 do and just win every series they play against a weaker opposition, which is pretty much what they like to do. So yeah, ShahZaM says, we suck today. GG well plays or 0-2 in their favour. But G2 was certainly still in action on the timeline last night because of Ye's first series back. So good to see Ye back in action, of course, after after all the Cloud9 situation, Ye releasing that team due to the role issues as they described it. But obviously at that event in Sao Paulo wasn't super impressive, and there was talk about the fact that, okay, maybe OpTic just set up Ye very well for success. And obviously FNS said this last season, right, that Ye was designed to be their go-off player. Yes, Ye individually was considered the best in the world, especially on the chamber, but then there was thoughts about, okay, maybe they're just setting him up very well, but obviously Ye individually also was ridiculously good during that OpTic stint. During Cloud9 wasn't quite the same at the Sao Paulo lock-in event, so we thought, alright, see how it goes, and then he was dropped from the team. So is Ye going to step out for the season? Is he going to go to Challengers, which was his only realistic option? And it turns out, yes, he joined DSG, and he played his first game last night against Oxygen. Oxygen, a good team, I thought. I thought this series was going to be pretty competitive. I wasn't sure which way it would go, but I thought Oxygen should come in really as slight favourites. And of course, it's Ye's first series back, so what can you really expect? In terms of chemistry and making sure everything's working for the roster, it's far from guaranteed, and honestly, it wasn't pretty, to be honest, right? The very first round, Ye goes in, flies through a smoke and dies. You're like, alright, this is pretty interesting. Ye's obviously playing with a lot of confidence here, and yeah, the majority of the game, Ye was getting cooked on the Haven. Towards the end of the game, he actually got a couple of decent rounds, but the final round they lost was, I mean, this is an absolute bloodbath. I'll share a couple of rounds here because, man, some of the stuff I was seeing here from DSG was not pretty. Nerve, in fairness, played well, right? Obviously the new player for the team as well. I thought he did pretty well, but yeah, Ye was not having a good time, certainly on game 1. Game 2 was a bit better, but there's been discussions here from Tarik and others. Is Ye feeling the pressure a bit? Because, look, it's the first series he's played. I don't think we should read into it too much, but it is against Oxygen Esports, and you would expect a team, you know, a player like Ye's caliber, who was the best in the world last year, to come in and effectively smurf against these type of players. But it didn't happen.
Killjoy over towards short as well, so they're going for the ultra delay on this one. There's a lot of delay on this. They get the plant down. When does the ult come in towards short? Oh my!
What is that? The wrong
He's lost his goddamn mind. He's lost his goddamn mind.
Lockdown in. And Verno just has them all pinned up.
Big guns beat small guns. They're concussed! They're concussed!
Push them! Swing, let's trade that.
He's in the smoke, he's in the smoke,
in smoke, in smoke.
Nice trade, good job. 4v2, 4v2, focus, focus.
Push him! Push him!
Bomb, let's have bomb maybe.
Attacker Killjoy. Break the turret. Yup. Okay, that's okay. You broke the ult. Good job. You did your job. Smoke the bomb, stick it. Smoke the bomb, stick it. I'll smoke it again. I'll smoke it again. Wait. Nice, nice. Stick it. Well done. That was easy.
What is happening?
Clean. It was clean. It was clean.
That was clean?
I mean, it's a win. Well, a win is clean, bro. That's good. That's great job. Great harbor wall. Great jet smoke. Great cover. You bought time. The fuse came in. I mean, look. Round win's a round win. We're at the end of the half.
Throwing out bodies at them.
You guys think Ye's feeling the pressure, chat? Or just not comfortable in the team yet? Or both? He's obviously capable. Both. Probably a combination of things. Yeah, he's just not comfortable yet. Just not comfortable yet. Guys, everyone commenting on Ye. Yes, he's having a slower game than usual. It's a debut match. Okay? He hasn't played in a minute. He's getting accustomed to the new team. He's getting accustomed to the match server. Let's give him time. He is that guy, okay? We should not doubt that, okay? We should give him time to get back into his groove. We cannot jump to conclusions after one map or one series. Like, if you guys were the GM of this team, you would have cut him after map 1. And that's why you guys are not the GM of this team. Okay? Because you make decisions off your emotions. Okay? You need to be logical. We need to let the roster simmer. Give it some time. Maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. Then we make the cuts. Then we change the players.
So Disguised Toast was not having a good time about this, right? Watching all this unfold in front of his eyes. And you can't blame him, right? Because there were some questionable rounds to be played. Obviously, they're going to need a bit more time. Ye's not coming that long ago. It's their first match as a team. Oxygen are a solid squad. I thought played pretty well. And game 2 did go down to the wire on the Pearl, but still, even on the Pearl, they're making some interesting choices. They, for some reason, like to go A a lot, even though their composition and, you know, I don't know, the map is designed to just go B and plant the bomb and play the post plant. That's basically just what the strategy revolves around. So, I don't know, just guys are making some interesting calls, and Ye wasn't particularly impressive, right? And okay, it's the first series they played. I know that Tarik gave his thoughts on. You've got to give it time. Can't read into too much as of yet, but it is a question to be asked, because obviously, even after all the TenZ stuff over the last few days of people really coming at TenZ's throat because of, you know, not performing so well as he did before, and then TenZ understandably is deciding to step away for a little while, and then it's going to come back into the team, presumably at some point in the near future. But even after all the discussion about, oh, we've got to be more caring as a scene and not just talk trash to people and not send people hate DMs and all this type of stuff, or not be quite so toxic, immediately is happening again on the Ye saga. And you can understand why Ye might be feeling the pressure here. It comes into this series, he's meant to play very well, meant to dominate, didn't have a great game 1, didn't really have a great game 2, all things considered, and he knows that people are going to talk about him. I'm sure if he checks his mentions, it's not looking pretty in there. He obviously didn't tweet anything after this game either, but you know, as Exalt says, people always get a little bold when the team loses, washed, bad, you know, STFU, you would crumble like a cookie for a $10 Fortnite code. So pretty funny stuff, I thought, from Exalt. Of course, no longer on this roster, but yeah, 2-0 to Oxygen in the end, so they're going to have to turn it around. And that is the other question I do ask, really, is that whether this for Ye is actually beneficial in the long term, right? Because Mitch, of course, now formerly Cloud9, he's an Oxygen doing well and took care of business here. Ye went 7-16 game 1, didn't have a good time. First duels weren't exactly pretty either, and then Perlike 21-20 had a better map here, but the team wasn't good enough when they went to overtime, and Oxygen got the better of them. But this is the thing, if this continues for Ye, if his performances don't blow everyone out of the water in challenges, what does that mean for next season up there in Tier 1? Because he wants to compete again in Tier 1, wants to get offers from teams like 100 Thieves or others if they do need a player in Ye's role as the duelist, and maybe he will get them. He's still Ye, he's still got that presence, but, you know, in terms of his stock and what top teams think of him, it is not going to help if he's on Disguise having a really hard time, and especially if they fail to qualify even for the Ascension qualifiers, or the Challengers playoffs as I should call it, which is far from guaranteed with their performance, right? They weren't so good in Stage 1, and now you look here, Stage 2, they've started off 0-1, and they still have to play M80, TSM, SR. Like, these are far from easy teams to beat, so they've got to turn it around quick. I still think they can do it. It's only Series 1. I feel like people always read too much into the first series these teams play, and I feel like it was the same story on the other side in Group B as well. But I will say that Group B is now looking rather stacked based on that recent result with your esports taking down G2. But very much intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.